she, she's doing some of the same stuff that, I feel like a man would do in that situation if it was a reversed story, right?
Just the presentation's different.
But the presentation's
the
different.
reverse story is the party animal.
To a certain extent.
It's all of these love potion number 9. She's kind of a mad scientist. It's almost like, is it really witchcraft? Or is she just drugging people?
A little bit of both, right? Yeah, a little bit of both, right? Yeah.
You can interpret it that way. I'm like, hey, look, it falls into that genre of love potion movie.
Welcome to Season 4 of Talking Pondo. Talking Pondo is a podcast where Clif and Marty give each other a film to watch and talk about them in detail. Some episodes will include a special guest.
And we're back.
Your joke?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I know, it's just weird. You're staring at me.
I was just waiting for the joke.
He's in the same room. It's crazy. Which witch will not be eaten this week, so we may bring you the following sandwich. That's terrible.
That's, yeah. Well, they can't all be bangers, right? If they're all bangers, then, you're a genius and you leave this podcast to become the next Billy Crystal, right? Do America's Sweethearts Part 2.
Part 2. Especially after 200 episodes. No, it hasn't been 200 episodes. 200 movies 200 this week. You'd think the jokes would, Sometimes I watch these movies and I forget the joke. Sometimes I watch these movies and I forget the quote. Because you get so wrapped up in the movie and you start recording and you go, where's your joke? Oh shit, I didn't write one.
I hear you.
And then you end up with the opening of today's
show.
You could have, Tyrell Company perfecting a love potion will not be seen this week, or something along those lines, or Deckard is put under a spell, or
you could do Sean Penn. Sean Penn tries out for the Love Witch or something like that.
We accidentally
Sean Penn works at work, or not Sean Penn. Sean, what's her name?
Yeah, we accidentally cast Sean Penn instead of Sean Young.
Sean Young, there it is. Sean Young works at Witch, waiting to be cast in The Last Witch. I don't know.
Yeah, same year as Fast Times, so imagine a cast swap between Blade Runner and Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Sean Young. Imagine Sean Penn as Spicoli as Roy in Blade Runner.
You hear me, AI? Get on it.
There you go. Yeah, you AI geniuses out there that claim that Hollywood's cooked and with your 15-second fucking videos off of C-Dance 2.0, yeah, shoot us with some of that shit. Go ahead. I dare you.
Yeah. Do it.
Do it.
Do it now.
Do it.
Well, it's Talking Pondo. We're back once again. We're in the same room because it's 200 movies covered. Yeah, that's exactly why.
I flew out here specifically for the 200th movie coverage for the podcast. That's exactly why I did it. It has nothing to do with the fact that we're in pre-production.
Yeah.
And that we're doing a bunch of other stuff. I'm here specifically for this podcast episode.
So it might sound a little different.
Yeah.
But actually being in the same room...
That's fucking weird, dude.
It helps me not talk when you're talking, because I see you, even though you're on the webcam.
Yeah. No. I know exactly what you mean. All right, so this week we got a couple of fucking bangers for $199 and $200.
Yeah. Well, $199 was The Love Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And $200 was Blade Runner, the final cut.
The final cut, which is the cut that Ridley Scott says he wants you to watch.
It's like the 5th version.
Yes. I personally prefer the narration.
I do too. Well, we will get into this and our reasons why. I'll bypass the listener mail. I don't want to interrupt the stream.
You sure?
Yeah, we'll do it next time.
Okay.
Or maybe the time after, but it's still coming. We still keep getting listener mail, which is good.
I'll say that Derek hit me up about Sinners. I was like, I see how he hit me up on Facebook. I was like, I see you're about to watch this, and I'm wondering what your reaction's going to be. So I'm very curious to hear what he had to say about our episode. I don't think he enjoyed it very much.
It was an episode.
What did?
Yeah, I mean, maybe people were just tired of hearing about Sinners. It wasn't one of our most listened to episodes. No. Right. See what we get for chasing that dollar.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a cool musical vampire movie. I mean, leave it alone.
Right.
Good Lord, who cares?
And then we switched to weapons.
And weapons.
And then we've switched to the Love Witch. See, we've gone from vampires to witches.
And this is two very different witches, because Weapons is the whole, ooh, it's a scary witch, creepy witch. And this is sexy witch.
So once again, mixing things up, I guess you're going to have to use your phone to look at the IMDb summary.
Yes.
Crazy, huh?
Yes.
Who would have imagined? But as one critic said, what is... Well, no. So the critic didn't say what is. I'm saying what is. But I'm paraphrasing one random critic. What is this like a Lost Hammer film known as The Love Witch?
The Love Witch, 2016, unrated. 2 hours.
Longer on Roku TV.
With the commercials, you're not kidding. A modern day witch uses spells and magic to get men to fall in love with her with deadly consequences. That's your logline. Your storyline. Let's see here. Where is it? Plot summary. Thank you. Elaine, a beautiful young witch, is determined to find a man to love her. In her gothic Victorian apartment, she makes spells and potions and then picks up men and seduces them. However, her spells work too well, and she ends up with a string of hapless victims. When she finally meets the man of her dreams, her desperation to be loved will drive her to the brink of insanity and murder. With a visual style that pays tribute to Technicolor thrillers of the 1970s, The Love Witch explores female fantasy and the repercussions of pathological narcissism.
Is that what happened?
I guess.
I was with you a little bit, and then it kind of like went off into its own personal interpretation there, the IMDb summary.
I feel like I read some reviews on this and a bit of the Wikipedia, and I feel like a lot of people are projecting onto this movie a bit, where they're like, well, it's a female empowerment. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. Then that means that all those movies back then were, right? Like every...
Well, we're going to get into that a little. Yeah. I mean, we can jump right into that, you know. It's funny, as time goes on, and you look back at these, you know, Russ Meyer movies, or even the Andy Sedaris Savage Beach and stuff, and you look at them in modern eyes, and you go, wait a minute, somebody considered this, like, really sexy and scandalous at one time, and now it's like, it's so over-the-top ridiculous that to me, the only thing left that comes through is the feminism. It's like it's transgressed to like, oh, that's just a Chuck Norris movie, rest in peace, but with a woman with the machine gun instead, like in an Andy Sedaris movie. Because there's nothing sexy left because the movie's 50 years old.
I don't even know if I see it as feminism. I mean...
it's accidental how it transgresses over the time. It just like, these exploitation movies just kind of turn into female empowerment over the years.
I mean, I guess.
See, I'm projecting.
I guess if you say that because the protagonist of the movie is a woman, then therefore it's female empowerment. Okay, I think female empowerment needs to be more like when I think of female empowerment, I think of movies like Norma Ray.
Well, of course,
right, and shit like that. Not softcore porn like The Love Witch. I don't find that female, and look, write in and tell me I am completely fucking wrong. Maybe I don't understand, but to me it doesn't seem very empowering. It just seems like it's a female protagonist, and that's great. I like that. But I
think it's a reflection on those movies, like the Russ Meyer type movies, as they've gotten older, and then doing a reflection on how they've transgressed and how like that.
To me, those Russ Meyer movies feel so exploitative, though. I have trouble finding a feminist, kind of trope or a feminist thing in it.
But they become so almost hokey with age.
I hear you.
That these other things start to creep through.
Are we viewing it through the modern lens again?
It was before the age of irony.
Okay.
When those movies came out. And old men's in trench coats used to go to that. And now it's like people like the director of The Love Witch celebrating these films. I think the audience changed a little. They've become more camp or almost John Waters-esque as the time keeps going.
To be fair, The Love Witch is definitely... It is not a Russ Meyer movie. It is not a Hammer film. In the fact that, like, for instance, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, right? Like, it goes way beyond what The Love Witch does. The Love Witch dwells a little bit in it story-wise, but it doesn't do the weird, wild swings and extremes that things like Beyond Super Vixens, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, and some of these other fucking movies. Even some of Ed Wood's nudie cuties are in this thing. You know, it feels very much of that time period, right?
It's a mixture.
It's very much a mixture. I'll start off by saying it looks fucking great.
Right.
Like, she shot it on film. I think she wrote, edited, produced, directed, and did what, the costume work, the set work,
makeup.
Yeah, the only thing she didn't do was shoot the motherfucker, right? Cinematographer. She got a really, really good cinematographer who knew how to use this old equipment and get that old style and that look, and she nailed it.
Yeah,
that hard lighting, those great close-ups on her eyes with even the makeup is kind of perfect.
The makeup usually in these type of movies doesn't look right, and it pulls you out.
Yeah,
this one
nailed
you
it.
might be tricked thinking, is this from the 60s?
Yeah. Do you remember you'll remember it. It's the one with, oh my goodness, he was in some of Ed Wood's films, and then of course the other girl, the vampire woman. But they were in this movie together where it's a witch and it's a coven, but yet it's just an excuse for women to come out and dance.
Oh, that's Orgy of the Dead.
Orgy of the Dead. This felt very much like Orgy of the Dead at certain points, right?
Pulling from that aesthetic. Yeah. That's it. We've been doing these movies lately that a few of them have been about style over substance. Yet here, the style is the substance in a way. It's kind of the point of the whole thing.
Yes.
Kind of unlike the Heartless Jawbreaker, but you kind of need to be in the bitchy mood for that one. You put that one on when you're like, these fucking assholes.
Yeah, you had a bad day in high school and you put Jawbreaker on and think about killing everybody for sure. But
this is a different movie about killing people.
This one is, like you said, I do think it's style over substance. I think where it fails miserably is in its story. Its dialogue is god-awful. And
on purpose.
I think
incredibly
it's on purpose.
Specific, I think.
Yeah, definitely on purpose. I mean, the acting is a kind of acting called presentational acting, which is a dead form of acting that nobody fucking does anymore. And it's specifically kind of died in the 60s.
And that's the trick. They make you think that this is an old movie because it even has that style.
Then fucking stop putting it in modern cars with cell phones and all this. Because
there are limitations.
That's where I start to go, fuck. Well, she shot the whole damn thing on a soundstage, or a lot of it on a soundstage. It just feels like if she'd gone a little bit further and tried to get that modern stuff out and really made a 70s movie, she would have pulled this really amazing thing off.
Compared to what a lot of people try with these things, she did a really good job. Yep. And she integrates those new things into the story anyways.
And we keep saying she, but I'm going to bring her name up here. Her name is... I'm so sorry about that. Apologies. Her name is Anna Biller.
Yeah.
And, I mean, again... I get it. Like, you're trying to emulate this Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, these Hammer films, but you've got to give us better dialogue and you've got to give us a better story.
But the way I look at it, it's like a good Herschel Gordon Lewis movie. And those were never good, but they looked and felt and sounded like this. And I feel it's part of, she was purposely trying to make kind of bad on purpose, if you call that bad, the outdated style on purpose, right?
The outdated style for sure, but it's the story itself that is lacking.
Because it wasn't the important part. The important part was everything else.
I have no problem
with it. It's like Tim Burton almost.
It took me 30 minutes of watching this movie to go, is this bad acting or are they doing this on purpose? And
it's totally on purpose.
It's totally a choice.
It's a choice. Yeah.
So I stopped the movie and I looked it up and was like, okay, presentational acting, that's totally a choice. Because it definitely felt like acting from the 50s and the 60s, and
not
especially
to say
from those type of movies.
Do a better story with that, but here they just chose to just not really.
I feel like if she had done a better story with it, it would have had a bigger impact, right? To be one of the last fucking films cut on an interpositive actual film negative, I really wanted her to take just one slightly bigger swing, right, and really hit that good story. But fuck, she did pull off quite a kind of. Everything else was excellent.
Style over substance, and the style is the substance here. That was the point of the movie, I think, to make it look like the past. And
it nails it. I mean, right from the beginning frames, when it opens and she's driving in that little car and that rear projection hits, that James Bond fucking Her Majesty's Secret Service fucking Dr. No rear projection, but it's perfectly lit and it looks great. She looks great lit. I'm like, oh, this is really good. Okay.
Yeah. I've talked about male lens, female lens. I don't subscribe to that. This director likes to explore the female gaze, as she calls it. But I look at this, and then I look at like Grindhouse, and I'm like, see, that's the difference. This is what a guy is going to make usually, is the Grindhouse, a little more exploitive, a little more gross of her body, and the woman's going to have a little bit more of a sensitive approach to kind of the same type of Grindhouse material. You're getting kind of the same type of movie, but I think Grindhouse doesn't have scenes of men breaking down from overly emotions.
No, but I mean,
and also tampons.
It
and
depends
things,
on the filmmaker,
so,
right? Like, yeah, I mean, she's got her heroin pissing in jars, and
that's what I'm saying. There's some very specific things here that are a little different, and I appreciate it.
You go watch some Lydia Lunch from the late '80s, and you're gonna see guns and vaginas and weird shit like that, and so there's. I think it depends on the filmmaker too, right? Like a lot of that's up to the filmmaker, male or female.
But I think she captures the past movie better than they did with Grindhouse.
She definitely honors it.
Yeah.
Like she does a really good job of you can tell that this is a filmmaker who is definitely obsessed with that aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Again, 5 minutes in, she's like, well, okay, you know how these movies go. Here's a full frontal cock shot. Here's a full frontal tits and bush.
They don't wait.
There you go. They don't wait at all. 5 minutes in, boom. Oh, here's the heroine's breast. Boom. Let's keep moving.
So you see what I mean about
you have to hit all that stuff in those movies.
Like back in the day, we would have cable on.
Oh yeah,
and have the sound off.
Yep, and there it is.
And then this movie like this would have come on.
Yes.
And about halfway through, it'd be like, "Can you turn the sound up on this? What is this?" And you're a little out of it because it's the middle of the night. And when I first discovered this movie on the last drive-in, it gave me that kind of vibe because of the way it looked. Where I was like, "This feels like one of those weird." Little bit off kind of movies we would have discovered in the middle of the night because it's very psychedelic. I think it's 60s aesthetics.
Yeah, I mean she's got her she's got her main she's got her lead drugging men, having sex with them, raping them basically. That's what that is when you drug somebody and have sex with them.
Don't say.
Among other things, but it's so she's doing some of the same stuff that I feel like a man would do in that situation if it was a reversed story, right?
The presentation's different.
But the presentation's
the
different.
reverse story is the party animal.
To a certain extent.
It's all of these love potion number 9. She's kind of a mad scientist. It's almost like, is it really witchcraft? Or is she just drugging people?
A little bit of both, right? Yeah, a little bit of both, right? Yeah.
You can interpret it that way. I'm like, hey, look, it falls into that genre of love potion movie.
She's very close to making softcore porn in this. Like if she gets a little more nudity into it, it becomes a little softcore porny. But she stays away from it enough to, again, make it this Hammer type Russ Meyer thing, but not. Even Russ Meyer's pretty softcore porn at times. She pulls back from that, in my opinion.
If you ever wanted Bewitched or Bell Book and Candle to be kind of a Skinamax movie, here you go.
Yeah, that's a good call.
It gives me Star Trek, the original series vibes with the way some of it's lit and it looks. Like I'm expecting Spock and Kirk to beam down at certain points. And I'm like, you are really capturing this vibe right in certain scenes where it's like, that's crazy. I have to commend you for that because so many people try and there's little things that pull you out. And eventually what happens here is you see cell phones and things that do, but she does so much right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That it's like...
Absolutely.
It's not like it's my favorite movie. I'm going to be watching it all the time, but there's a lot I appreciate about it.
It's this color coordinated 70s aesthetic wrapped in a modern day tale in a modern world.
Mm-hmm.
The violin, they do this thing where it's several times during the movie there's a tense moment and you hear the violin go. And I'm just like, that's not scary. That's really annoying, and I need that to stop. But it's also super accurate for that time period.
You're not watching these through headphones again, are you?
Yes.
Oh, some of these movies you got to just let them breathe in the open air, because I think they're going to be extra obnoxious. Some movies through headphones. Yeah. I think if a movie's driving you nuts with the headphones, you might stop halfway through.
Other than. The rest of the movie was fine. It sounded great. It was just those moments where you get the, scream. I'm just like, dude,
yeah,
that's
not designed for
scary.
Atmos,
No.
apparently.
Well, I guess not. Dolby Atmos.
Spectral recording.
No, this is 2016. Definitely not.
I don't look at it as a regurgitation of old movies. I look at it as more of an addition to those type of movies. Like, I think she wanted to make a movie that fit alongside some of those 60s and 70s movies.
Is this a comedy?
It's listed as one.
Okay, I think it's a comedy,
Mm-hmm.
and here's why: it's fucking ridiculous.
Well, yeah.
Like, and I mean, the story is fucking ridiculous. She goes to these men. The first one she finds is great, and she makes him love her, and then he does fall in love with her, and shows her his sensitive side, and she immediately is grossed out, and basically he cries himself to death and dies, right? And so, but later, we're in a tea room, right, and we're listening to a harp player sing a song. And this is why I'm glad I had the fucking headphones on, because she starts the song with tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la, la di da di da, and I'm just like, and then sings a verse, and then we cut to the tea party discussion, and then at the end of the fucking scene we cut back to her, and she ends the song with tra la 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 la, tra la 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 la, and la di da di da, and I thought, okay, she's doing it on fucking purpose.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing this on purpose. And I refuse to believe, with this much meticulous care to the rest of the film, that this isn't a conscious fucking choice.
Mm-hmm. Completely.
And the more we talk about it, the more I'm realizing, like, oh, you're right. The story has to be bad. Like, if you told a great fucking story and did all this, it would not be right.
It wouldn't fit.
And it wouldn't be funny, and it wouldn't fit. But it's a wild movie, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wild movie.
Yeah, I brought it onto the show so we could look at the way it looked more than anything.
One of the lyrics is literally, it was so tra-la-la and so la-di-da.
She wrote the songs. I looked in the... or at least co-wrote them.
Oh my God, she nailed the aesthetic perfectly.
That's why it takes her so long to make a movie. She does every part of it.
But I will say, because of the type of the movie it is, because of her aesthetic, and because of the choices that she made directorially to mimic a lot of the stuff from these early periods, it's interminably long.
Yeah, it is very long, and I watched it on, what was the Plex channel?
Yeah, same.
I think, and
Same.
it had a
It's the only place I
lot
can
of
find it.
commercials,
Yeah.
5-6 commercials each time, and I'm like, well, at least somebody's getting paid.
Yeah.
You know,
hopefully, Anna, you got paid. But yeah, I was just like, okay, this is the part of that I'm having trouble with, is that it's just too damn long. 2 hours for this is way too long. This should be an hour 40 tops.
It has a lag in the middle. It's very top heavy.
Yep. One of my notes says, and I'm going to sound like an idiot when I say this. One of my notes says, this would have looked better on film. Was shot on film.
You don't say.
But in 2016, I assumed, most theaters had gone digital at that point. I assumed that this was digital. And it's amazing that she, did these costumes herself and found the money to do this. I don't know what this cost, but it probably wasn't fucking cheap for sure. Did you notice the steaks? Remember when she cooks the steaks for the guy and he comes, when he takes her to the woods and she's like, I'll make you dinner. You remember that scene?
Mm-hmm,
And she makes the steaks and the salad. Did you notice the steaks look like dick and balls?
Oh, I knew there was something odd about them. I didn't catch
they're
that.
They're T-bones with the tops cut off of them, and they're shaped so they look like a cock and balls.
Well, I'm sure it's on purpose.
I started fucking laughing my ass off, dude. That was great. That
part
was
of the
really
unrated
great.
nature of the film. Yeah.
It's just, yeah. At one point, she goes to the park and sits down for no reason and just eats a sandwich. Just pulls a sandwich out of a brown paper bag and eats it.
There is a sandwich.
Yeah. 27 minutes in, I've got to know this is even with the sex. This is getting kind of tedious. And yeah, but at the same time, I really admired its look. Mm-hmm. I admired what she accomplished with it. See if I got any more notes on it. It makes some great and it makes some very odd choices. It's kind of like watching 2 hours of dinner theater acting. You know what I mean? Like it's a little exhausting to watch 2 hours of dinner theater acting. I also noticed it's very front lit, right? Mm-hmm. To the point you go, we're outside. Why isn't the light on a sunny day? Why isn't the light coming from the top? Why is it coming from the side? Right? Like it's very hard lit.
It's purposely that artificial.
Hard lit. Yeah.
She's going for that Brady Bunch look, but like naughty Brady Bunch.
Mm-hmm. I love how she has that cop sit down on the couch and she pours wine into that giant fucking glass and hands it to him. That glass is like, it would hold a gallon of wine, and he's just like, oh, and he takes a sip out of it.
Oh, yeah.
But even at that point, there's still an hour of the movie to go.
I know.
It's like, man, wow.
I think without all those commercials, it probably would have paced a little better.
I agree. Well, but even then at 2 hours, it's just too long.
Mm-hmm.
It's too long for me.
Well, what do you give that one?
Well, the weak ass girl fight kind of killed it for me. I do kind of feel like it might be this, attempt to reclaim the aesthetic, in a kind of female manner. Boy, there was a lot of exposition at the end of it. Like there was a lot of just talking at the end of the movie, right? Like just talking. But for the most part, again, Elaine girl, you cray cray. Like I'm in love with you. I think you're awesome. She's a beautiful actress.
The spell worked.
Just absolutely gorgeous. It did work on me. I don't know, man. It's not something I'm going to watch again.
See, that's why the scale is difficult, putting numbers on movies, because movies are so complicated. There's things you like and things you dislike,
Rewatchability is a big deal for me, but also competency is a big deal for me, right? It's well made, obviously well made. It's not something I'm going to watch again because of its pacing and because of what it truly is. But I think if people that are fucking into that, they're probably going to watch that movie and laugh their asses off and think it's fucking great.
It's becoming a cult film over the years.
I don't want to play it safe, but I also don't think it deserves a really, really super high rating. I'm going to go 3.5 stars, and I reserve the right to maybe take it down to 3 during a review.
Yeah, I'm at 3.
Okay.
I can't give this like 2.5. It does too many things correct.
Yeah. But at the same time, it does a few things that are egregious enough that I can't call it a classic.
Yeah. That's the issue with the ratings system I've been discovering in myself especially the last few shows. Like I was telling you about America's Sweethearts, and I gave it a 0.5 star because I give movies that a 0.5 star that only do maybe 1 or 2, 3 things right. And then the more things you do right with your craft, the more the score kind of goes up. So I can be a little more objective. But the weird thing about America's Sweethearts is one of the things it did right was the cast, and there was a charm to it. Mm-hmm. And usually those aren't things that are good in a bad movie. So it's such a strange anomaly. So that's why, is that what they call so bad it's good?
I mean, I think we have
or is that just a crazy movie?
I think we have very differing opinions on what's right in a film. And I think that as far as what's tickling your score and what's tickling mine, right? So, giving Running Time a 2 and then turning around and giving America's Sweetheart a 0.5 star and saying, well, Running Time got more right than America's Sweethearts did.
To me
is fucking insane.
Yeah.
But to you, that makes sense, right? Again, it's like Chris said, I want to read your rubric.
Yeah, taking a swing and doing a movie with your friends over a weekend is it does more for me than humor that was already 5 years out of date by the time it hit the screen.
But I mean, what's the point of making something with your friends that turns out to not be good? Like, I mean, if
we go back to objective, and the other movie made $100 million. So what am I talking about?
It did, right? That's the thing. It's weird. So, anyway.
It's nonsense here on Talking Pondo. We're going to talk about some more nonsense. What is Blade Runner: The Final Cut? Which may be the 7th version if you really get technical with the work print but I'm just going to call it the 3rd version, right? Because you have your theatrical 82.
Right.
Yes, there is the international cut that has a little bit more gore,
Yes.
but that stuff is put back into the 1992 director's cut. But Ridley Scott didn't edit that one, but he went and he basically made a slicker version of the director's cut and called it the final cut. What is it?
What the fuck?
It's it. What is it?
Blade Runner, 1982, rated R, 1 hour, 57 minutes. A Blade Runner must pursue and terminate 4 replicants who stole a ship in space and have returned to Earth to find their creator. That's your logline. Your storyline. Your storyline is somewhere here. Where in the world did you go? There it is. My apologies. I'll cut all this out anyways. In the early 21st century, the Tyrell Corporation, during what was called the Nexus phase, developed robots called replicants that were supposed to aid society. The replicants, which looked and acted like humans. When the superhuman generation Nexus 6 replicants used for dangerous off-Earth endeavors began a mutiny on an off-Earth colony, replicants became illegal on Earth. Police units called Blade Runners have the job of destroying, or in their parlance, retiring any replicant that makes its way back to Earth. It's now November 2019 in Los Angeles, California. Decker, a former Blade Runner, is called out of retirement when 4 known replicants, most combat models, have made their way back to Earth, with their leader being Roy Batty. This is a really long one, and I'm not going to read all of it.
Yeah, it's
Huggo's lost his mind on that.
So many details that you make it sound like we see all that in the movie. They just talk about a lot of that.
Well, you do. You have to. I think. Again, this is a movie.
That's why I say it's a bad description.
This is a movie where if you watch it enough, you'll get some of that. But yeah, it's also like...
Well, you watch any movie enough.
You get a lot of that from like 2049 later. And then, of course, if you read the book, you get some of that too.
Exactly, because today is the Blade Runner, the final cut, which was, as Ridley Scott basically said, we retconned the movie so we could make a sequel. I don't blame him. He ain't the first guy to do it. And what I mean is they emphasize more about the Deckard maybe being a replicant so they could make the follow-up. So the follow-up is really kind of sequel to the final cut. So when you look back at like the theatrical one with the narration and the happy ending, that's almost like it stands alone like the original Star Wars in a way,
I still, after having watched this, I'm still not convinced that he's a replicant in this version either.
I think it's a better story if he's just a human.
Agreed. Yeah.
I get what they're doing with it.
He runs off and she is supposed to live longer than he will, right? Because she doesn't have an expiration date. Mm-hmm. She's a replicant, doesn't have her expiration date, right? So I don't know. This is one of those movies where every time I watch it, I find something different about it or something new, and it's usually because I've gotten older and I've had more experiences in my life, and so the movie reveals something else to me, right? And so this time around it was, and I think we talked about this earlier, but this time around it was the line that Roy says at the end where he talks, or Tyrell says to Roy when Roy says, stop the aging, fix me. And he says, that's not how it works. You burn twice as bright, you live half as long. That's the way it works, right? And I immediately flip to Cobain and Hendrix and Joplin and Morrison, and I think, yep, that's exactly how that works.
Right.
It's us lame fuckers that stay around forever.
Only the good die young.
Only the good die young, right? James fucking Dean, over and over again. You have Marilyn died pretty young. A lot of famous people and people who were good people, and possibly bad either way. But they burned very bright, and so they lived half as long. Anyways. Found that to be that was the big one I got out of it this time.
The thing that I got out of it this time that I didn't completely grasp before was the interesting thing about the movie is the robot doesn't want to take over.
No.
Like they think, it just wants to live.
Yep.
And it's very angry that it's not going to get to live. But when Roy gives his speech at the end, hey, we do spoilers here. I'm looking in the mic like it's a camera. You got to personify it so you at home feel like talking directly to you. And right before he lets that dove go. See, there's so many things about Purple Rain that tie into this too. I'm going to get into, even though that comes later.
Roy never meant to cause you any sorrow.
He didn't,
or any pain.
He's redeemed at the end, right?
That's right.
Because he lets that bird go, and then he realizes, time to die. I am getting the human experience after all. I thought I was robbed because it's short, but in the end I realized this is what it means to be human.
Yep.
So that's why all of the rest of the storyline about if they were just going to expire, why are you hunting them? It's almost like a dreamlike nonsense M. Night Shyamalan story, like Weapons, kinda. It's like, why? What were they up to? What harm were they causing? They were just killing the people that made them live a short life. But I don't think that's what the movie's about. The movie is about the robot just wanted to live. And you want to have that idea, so you do all this to present that idea. It's like the movie shows us all its brainstorming in order to get to the point at the end, is what it feels like. It's uneven.
There's a lot of layering to it, and that's definitely one of the layers,
but
right?
I'm like, the point is not why. The point is to show the emotion.
No, yeah. And the why is that, they are killing people, and you got to stop that, right?
But they're only killing people because they were given the short life. They're not killing people who weren't involved, right?
Humans don't care about. We don't care about that. Cops don't care about that. They just want to stop the killing.
Well, as I say, it's a little flimsy.
Yeah, they don't care about the cop doesn't care what your motive is for murder. He just wants you busted for murder, right? So,
I mean,
but I agree with you that that's not the point. The point isn't to pull at the threads and the whys. The point is to immerse yourself in the world and follow these replicants and as they're going along trying to do what they're doing, which is, like you said, save themselves.
Because what robots was Deckard retiring before he was retired? There was more killer robots he had to stop. How long has this been going on, and why are you having maybe you're having false memories and you're a robot is why? That doesn't make sense, right? I think they lean into that with the retcon aspect.
It's possible.
But it's a double-edged sword. You can go one way or the other with this movie.
I think you get it. I think you get a little bit of it when there's a lot of implied history between him and Emmett Walsh. I was going to point out one of my favorite shots in the movie is when they're sitting together and they've got a projector behind them. They're looking at stuff on the screen, and the camera's facing them, right, and the light's going over the camera lens. And they're sheathed in this white light and the blue, but there's blue coming from behind the camera. So they're blue with this white light behind them. And it's just fucking awesome looking. It's just, I love this movie also because damn near everything is practical. You don't get the benefit of fucking Dance 2.0 AI horseshit or, this type of thing. Maybe some blue screen or green screen, maybe, but everything else is fucking practical. They had to fucking all the old school shit, mats, front projection, rear projection, inner positives, all that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, it has a lot of nice miniature work. I just wish it was in a more interesting movie.
I find the movie fascinating. I think it moves well. I think it tells a cool story. I think it creates a world that is very singular and that so many fucking films have borrowed from and robbed from over and over and over again. The idea of the mad Tyrell. Fucking Elon Musk desperately wants to be Tyrell from the Tyrell Corporation, right? Like, holy shit.
Oh, Tyrell. Okay, so let's talk about Tyrell for a second, played by Joe Turkel. You've heard me talk about Joe Turkel before. He was the bartender Lloyd in The Shining. But we know him best as that milkman beatnik from Tormented in Mystery Science Theater. He shares a birthday with me, so that's why I know this much. And what a crazy career. Bird-Eye Gordon to Stanley Kubrick to Ridley Scott. He was all over the place. And he gets into his roles. You're not going to think that's the same guy from Tormented back in the 60s.
No.
So, yeah.
It's good. He's good in the role. I like how he's not really afraid of Roy at the end when Roy shows up. He's like, oh, okay, well, I was wondering when you were going to show up. It took you this long. And they go through the whole thing where Roy's like, try this. He's like, tried it. Try this. Tried it. We've tried all that shit. It's not going to work. You're going to die. That's just how it is.
You want to be a human.
Yeah. It's, there's layers about mortality in there. There's layers about, being forced to, you can tell Deckard when he kills that first replicant, he goes to grab that bottle and he's just fucking shook to shit. And then Edward James almost shows up and taps him with the cane, and he grabs that cane like he's going to just take it and beat the shit out of Almost until he sees him and realizes who he is. Like, he's this replicant killing stuff isn't easy on him, and he doesn't like it.
But the movie with its double-edged sword does kind of make you think, oh, they might have implanted all these memories in him that he's known.
Totally possible.
those guys forever, and it's just a trick on him. Have you ever run the test on yourself? Possible. I prefer to think of it as he's just a detective. That's why I like the narration. Mm-hmm. The reason I like the theatrical cut the most, that's the movie I lived with for 10 years.
Same.
So did you.
Same.
That's why we wanted the director's cut, to have a comparison. Oh, without the narration, that's neat.
Yeah.
But when we get to the final cut, there's something about the final cut is why I don't like it. Because I used to really like this movie a lot. And then 2007, I went to go see the final cut, and I was just like, he did something to where it's so clean that you dehumanized it a little for me.
Is it the enigma of whether or not he's actually a replicant? Because I feel like
leaning more into that helps too. I feel like
you're right, because in the first one he's not. It's not super. I don't think there's a lot of super leaning towards the replicant stuff. But like you said, in this one you start to question, well, did he really? Mm-hmm. Is he really a replicant? Did he really have these memories?
It seems like they heighten it more in this one. I know the director's cut they do as well, but it's a little more subtle. It's more of a suggestion. The unicorn shot's not even as long. This one, the unicorn shot is longer. That's just a shot from Legend, isn't it?
Possibly.
I mean, the same guy made the unicorn movie.
Guy made the unicorn movie.
And then you go, is that an implanted memory? Or is he just thinking? Right. It's ambiguous. It feels completely out of place with the rest of the movie. I almost feel like it would work better with the happy ending, so you at least have something else that felt like somewhere else.
It's like you said, though. He was going for that enigmatic ending so that he could do a sequel, right? Yeah. So.
And another reason I like the theatrical cut... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is sometimes notes help. I know directors don't want to get notes from... financiers or studio heads that they feel interfere, but I feel putting that narration in and having that happy ending, footage from The Shining, that's the movie we always liked, right? And so I feel like those were choices to make an audience be able to connect to it a little better back then, and apparently audiences didn't really care for it that much back then. It grew steam over the years, right? They wanted another Star Wars. Oh, you got Harrison Ford in space. Did Harrison Ford ever go back to space after this? And this isn't really space, but you know what I mean. Another sci-fi. We're flying around in cars and shit.
Cowboys and aliens.
He leaned. That took a while. He leaned into the action shit after this, didn't he?
A lot of indie and stuff like that. Yeah, but I mean, look. I think that A, it stood the test of time. B, I remember a lot of people talking about this movie when I was younger. Mm-hmm. It's one of those movies that people who like movies talk about, right? It's not necessarily a movie. My dad's got a friend, and he literally said to me one time, if somebody doesn't get shot or die and blown up in the first 5 minutes, I'm out. I don't want to watch a movie. And I'm just like, that's your criteria?
Okay.
Right? Okay, well, that means you know what you like, at least, right? Which is cool. You're not going to waste your time on something you don't like, but that's a really strange, to me, I don't know. It's got to do a lot worse than that for me to walk away from it. And Blade Runner in particular is doing a lot right.
I think in the final cut, the stunt work is better. That Zora, is that her name? They fix it to where it's not obviously a stunt double.
Yeah.
But to me, it gives this overall diminished effect like what they did with Star Wars. To get the cynical, hey, I did a kind of a sci-fi movie with Harrison Ford. Maybe I should fix it up a little bit and get it ready to make another sequel. And I don't blame you.
I don't know. That doesn't bother me, I don't think, very much.
But it's just, I like it, but I don't. I'm in this weird middle on the final cut. I'd almost argue it's not the same movie. Without the narration and a different ending, it really is almost like a different version of...
Nah, it's the same movie. They're just wanting you to take a different ending out of it, right?
So
it's still the same
movie.
At
what point would it become a different movie?
I think if you were literally telling a lot of backstory and having him deal with the fact that he's looking into his replicant past and trying to hash out whether he is or is not, because he doesn't at any point in the movie question whether he is or is not a replicant. He doesn't give himself the comp void test. They ask him, there's some question about it, and he just is like, don't be fucking stupid. Of course I'm a human being, right? And to him, he's got all the memories that he needs, right? Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing.
Snaps his fingers back pretty quick.
Let me say this. If Sean Young, who is absolutely fantastically beautiful in this movie. And I love the way they get her eyes to glow in some of the shots where she's smoking and doing the comp void test. It's fantastic. And by the way, what kind of friggin' cigarettes are they smoking? It's crazy. It looks like a half joint, half cigarette. Anyway, where was it going with this?
Like and subscribe.
My point is, Sean Young, beautiful, got the glowing eyes, all that stuff. She is the top replicant, according to
unless Decker is
Tyrell. According to Tyrell, she's the top. She's the best that could ever made. She's the one that took 3 times as many questions to fail the comp void test as any other replicant. Right? Decker is been around before that. He's obviously been around before that. So if he's a replicant, he's either a shittier early model or he's some sort of one-off crazy ass model that they put out to go kill the other replicants and never made again. It's a big stretch to me that he's a replicant. In other words,
then there never was any replicants running around before that needed to be killed. Those are fake memories.
Right, but again...
Or the older replicants were more assholes and they were up to no good and he had to get rid of them, and this batch just wanted to live because they were more advanced.
But it's such a stretch, and none of it is even hinted or poked at in the movie, that it's just something fun to fucking talk about.
Well, that's
right?
why I don't prefer the final cut as much, because it
why
leans too much.
That's why I don't think it... That's why I don't think it leans too far, because again, the rest of the movie isn't supporting that. It's just trying to throw you off a little bit.
Well, what is that unicorn
and make you
thing?
wonder. It's just trying to make you wonder. You know, and also unicorns are beautiful.
What about the hockey masks in the club?
I thought the unicorn was her, the replicant who will live way longer than anybody else.
No,
That's what I thought.
He's the unicorn.
I guess.
But what about those hockey masks? It's the same year that Jason got his hockey mask, 1982, and there's 2 dancers in that club that have hockey masks on. I thought it was really weird. They're like go-go dancers. Aspects of the movie nobody ever talks about. The symbology of hockey masks in 1982. The old future. This movie is set in 2019.
Yes, sir.
They certainly got the Zoom calls right. It wasn't a video screen on a payphone, but they really got that close with that technology. What is this movie like to somebody who's like 20 years old?
Oh, I'm sure it's a weird mixture of old and new tech.
Does this movie get more gothic and creepy as it ages, perhaps, to them? Because it's no longer a futuristic movie. It's an alternate past.
Yeah, alternate reality. Yeah.
And so it starts going off in that direction instead.
I could swear at one point Decker's holding like a mobile phone in his hand in one of the scenes. He's got like
he does have like a little tablet-ish device when he's flying around.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's very brief. But yeah, I did like the video screen thing there. Also, Los Angeles with rain? Now that's fiction. How many times have they had a drought out there, right? And there's no rain anywhere?
Rain the winter I was there like a motherfucker. I feel like this movie has a lot of... It's pulling a lot from William Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
This sort of, Gibson had this idea of the L.A., I think it was L.A. to Seattle sprawl, where the cities had gotten so big that they just basically they were connected. Right, and so the entire coast is just one massive city, right? And you're moving through, as you move through neighborhoods and through different areas, you've moved from LA into Northern California and then into Washington and so on, right? And that's a wild idea, but it also gives you an idea of how big humanity's gotten, which it makes sense. I mean, they're trying to shove people off of this friggin' planet because it's dead, like it's dying. It's obvious, right? This planet. It just rains. There's no atmosphere. It looks like shit.
Join the off-world colonies with Arnold and Total Recall.
Yeah, but way before Total Recall and all that other shit.
And
again,
yet that script was that old, too.
Stealing so much shit from fucking this movie, it's not even funny. I believe Total Recall is also isn't that a Philip K. Dick?
Might be, actually. Jeff, correct us.
Yeah, Jeff, you'll have to tell us.
I know you're listening to this one. So we've been watching some movies lately that have brought up the question of directors putting questions in movies without answers, and what are the varying degrees of this. And in this one, I feel like there's a lot of things that are questions that they don't have answers. They're not supposed to. They're there to set up the getting to the robots having emotions thing, like all the questions we've been asking. Is he human? Is he real? What's this? The movie's not telling me enough. And so it's doing a different way of throwing out unanswerable questions in order to move its story along a little bit, right? Or am I just reaching?
I mean, I think making it enigmatic like that adds to its mystique, right? Which adds to its rewatchability.
Ambiguity is good.
Which adds to its, and the ambiguity allows you and I and others to sit here and talk about it for 40 fucking years and go, is he a replicant? Isn't he? Oh my, what if we had only ever gotten the narration? Would we still be talking about this movie if there was never a director's cut? I think so.
We were already kind of into it.
But would we be talking about it in this, like, it's enigmatic? What is?
No, because you don't have different versions to compare. Yeah. But that also shows, did they ever really get the movie right? If you have to re-edit a movie 7 times... Obviously, this movie had a lot of troubled production too, as we know. So
I think the big problem is the big problem is the big problem is that, especially in the in the 90s, director's cuts and fucking special features and all that shit were big. And if you wanted a Blade Runner re-release, then you need to recut it and you need to do extra special features and blah blah blah. And here's the other problem: some of these studios are like, sure, Ridley, it's your film, go ahead and recut it. No, Ridley, no Lucas, no whoever, leave it the fuck alone. Because once you release it, it's not yours anymore, it's ours. Mm-hmm. Like, because we're the ones that are going to see it. We're the ones that paid for it. We're the ones that, literally have made the film a success and allowed you to make another one.
Yeah, you're restructuring a classic album again.
Yeah.
The movies are a representation of the time they came out as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
now I get it if you want to do a director's cut.
Yeah, but that's going to be a representation of the year you recut it.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
It's a whole different thing.
Having said that, though, I don't mind the director's cut I don't mind it. I do like the first version better.
I like the '92 director's cut more.
But I don't mind the final cut. I don't mind the loss of the narration. I don't mind the enigmaticness, and it does tend to lend to some questions and have some fun conversations.
Like Purple Rain, that came 2 years later, this has an early 80s gritty music video vibe to it.
Yeah, it's got a evangelist type. It sounds like Tangerine Dream, Evangelist, Chariots of Fire, Neverending Story. It's got that.
Oh, I think you're right. I think one of the ones you named is actually which makes sense because they do one of the versions of Legend as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I kept expecting Billy Idol to show up or Sting in tiny metal panties. It is that type of movie. It had that vibe to it.
Yeah, it's Evangelist. Yeah, it also had. It made me laugh too because there's a couple of scenes where it's got the. And I just watched Lethal Weapon a couple weeks ago, and in Lethal Weapon it's got all that David Sanborn saxophone, lonely, painful cop music. That's in Blade Runner 2 in a couple of scenes, and it made me laugh so hard because I was like, oh, maybe that's where it started. I don't know. But it goes from being in Blade Runner into being, Lethal Weapon. Anyway.
I think I understand the young film bros a little more now rewatching this, because when I was 16 and I discovered this movie, I thought it was like fucking amazing. And now that I'm older, it's kind of like watching The Lost Boys and you go, oh, that's just a toxic relationship. That's not sexy. It has those differences of it where I still appreciate the movie, but I've seen the movies that inspired it now. So I go, oh, I see what created this. This isn't the greatest thing ever made. It's awesome. But you know how the film bros are like, the movies from the last 10 years, the greatest thing ever, and I'm not going to listen in. Oh, they're still in that mode. They haven't watched enough shit and grown out of it yet. So I remember when I was kind of like that before the term even existed.
I like the movie's aesthetic quite a bit. I like its production design. I like how it handles flying cars. I like how it handles flying blimps. I like the fact that there's CRTs and flat screens. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that it's this mix of new and old technology.
Yeah, I just don't want to see it touched up in 07.
I hear you. Well,
I want to see the theatrical or the 92. At least you have them all. You can get a set that has all the cuts.
Yeah.
Which is nice that they do that.
I've been looking on Blu-ray for the first two, and they're not easy finds.
Because it comes in a briefcase, the DVD, and they had the work print. and then I think the International. And apparently they found the work print around the early 90s, and they did a couple screenings as the director's cut unauthorized, and that's what led to the 92 director's cut, which inevitably led to, hey, Blade Runner should be making some more money. Let's figure out a way to... And they did. They figured out a way to where I'm sure they've completely, throughout the years, any money they might have lost in the early 80s has been recouped. They have a sequel. They have Funko Pops of fucking the guy who plays in Guardians of the Galaxy. What's his character? Sapper, I think, in the sequel. I mean, that's just how much, merchandising and stuff. But there was no Blade Runner toys back in the day. I saw this on HBO, like in 83.
Same.
And I was like, oh, it's okay. I was a little kid. I didn't quite understand it. And then discovering it again, I think were you there when we saw it at the Gallagher Theater?
Yeah,
at the U of A.
Yeah.
So we saw the theatrical over narration version on the screen then.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And I loved the director's cut. I saw that the day it came out. But then when I went to go see it in '07, there was a little love lost. So watching it again, I went, no, I still like this movie. I just don't care for this particular cut of it as much. Yeah. So it was good to go back to it to realize, no, I still like the movie. Mm-hmm. It's just this is the indulgent version.
I don't mind that.
Or if I was going to watch the sequel, I'd watch this version right before it. Yeah, it would match better.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think it's not so different that it's throwing me off. I'm just different with you on that one. But again, I really like what it did. I'm glad that it found an audience and it found its place, because I think it's a very important movie for science fiction. Mm-hmm. I think it's very, very important. I think it's groundbreaking in a lot of ways. The production itself was, from what I've read, an absolute nightmare anyways. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a miracle the damn thing even got finished. Yeah. And to get what we got was pretty awesome, especially
for that time.
My God, dude. For that time, it's such a foreign looking film.
It's ahead of itself. That's why it didn't do right.
And, of course people weren't ready for it. It's, and it wasn't the roller coaster ride that Alien was. So you couldn't get on board and go, all right, it's the future and blah, blah, blah. Holy shit, chest burster, here we go. It's a slow burn. And it's a kind of a think piece, right? To a certain extent.
That's why we liked it in the 90s more.
Yep. Well, and again, when you're young and you think, well, man, like you said, I'm a cinebro and I got like all these think pieces, then this type of thing you could latch onto, right? But I think it stands the test of time when you watch it later. For me, again, even from watching it at the Gallagher Theater at the U of A in like 91 to watching it 5 years later, 5 years after that, the movie reveals more to me every time I watch it. It means different things to me based upon where I am in my life and my age, which I don't know a lot of fucking movies that do. Lawrence is about the only other one that I can really say has done that really strongly. Maybe Almost Famous.
And hopefully any really well done movie should do that, you would hope.
Yes and no. Like The Godfather hasn't done that. Like, it hasn't changed for me. Well, I'll say this. Other than, like, when you're a kid and you don't understand fully what's going on, right? Like, once you reach the age where you can fully grasp the movie and the nuances of it, it never changed for me at that point, right? So, I like this one because it changes. I watch it and I go, oh, fuck, okay, they're talking about that now. Oh, I missed that.
Well, I can't say I didn't get a little of that. I just only got a little of it. Mm-hmm. But sometimes just a few moments are enough to make the movie amazing.
Well, and if little is good, more must be better, right?
Mm-hmm. And this movie's not without its flaws. That's part of its charm, too. But this particular version, I give 2.5. The other cuts would be 4 or 4.5, perhaps. But this one, they just did something to it where I'm just like, this. Why can't I see them go to the better place at the end, to go to the Overlook? Because isn't it the Shining footage? And the narration, that got laughs in the theater. People liked some of that stuff. So I feel it just adds an extra layer. But I don't know, I still like the movie. But this cut, I don't watch this version again. I would rather go back and watch one of the other two.
I would give this cut 4 stars.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
I would give the original cut, which I can't find, and if I could on Blu-ray, I would immediately.
I don't know if it is on Blu.
That's the thing. I want it on Blu-ray, and if I can get it on Blu-ray, that's my 5-star Blade Runner right there.
I'll take a DVD of it.
Or maybe I'll go maybe 4.5. You're right. It has a couple flaws, but
I love those old effects, and I want them to look like they did.
Yeah.
I don't want extra lights on the car. It's cool, but I want to see the other one.
One of the things we didn't talk about was the guy who played J.F. Sebastian. And I think he's one of those great character actors. He ends up being one of the brothers on the Newhart show, on Bob Newhart. He ends up being
He is.
Daryl and my other brother Daryl and that guy. Hello, my name is Daryl, and this is my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl. Yeah. He's a good actor. I like him. He tends to disappear into parts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I like those kind of actors, man. They're really great.
He built his own robot friends.
Mm-hmm.
You guys watch Ridley Scott movies?
You guys watch Ridley Scott movies? Well, what do you got for me next week?
What a trippy experiment. Look, we hit an hour, and we're not even doing it the normal way, and we've still got the timing.
Yep.
Next week, hey, do the Pondo Shuffle.
That's right. Okay. Folks, get ready for this. So what we're going to do is I'm in town for a week. We've got access to a large collection library of movies, and we have a shuffle function. So we have dared each other to hit the shuffle button and take the movie that comes up. Now, to be fair, each person gets 3 vetoes. So this is going to be very interesting.
And it should all play out on the show, too.
It should be very, very interesting. So just tune in for that one. Yeah. That's going to be fucking wild.
It'll be fun. And we'll be back the week after that with, let me see. There's this one, and there's that one, and well, I think we'll be back to the guests at that point or something, but stay tuned.
You want to get out of here on a quote?
I'm going to give you the rainbow. Something like that, right? Was that the quote?
Do you like to ride, Elaine? Later, Marty.
Don't miss an episode. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and keep listening to the show on the app of your choice. Do it now.